Hey guys, today I wanted to do a flip through of this art creation sketchbook. It's by Royal Talens. It's about 11.5 by 8.25. So my goal for the sketchbook was to kind of experiment with things and be a little bit more loose and be more loose in my style. This was just a flower and it was $7.17, so it was a little bit less than a year that it took me, but I completed other sketchbooks in that time, so this wasn't the only sketchbook I had. And this was a flower painting that I did in that time period, so I just pasted it in there. A lot of these girls I did without really pre-drawing, although I think I did pre-draw this one. The other thing I really wanted to experiment with was backgrounds, trying different types of backgrounds. And pretty much all the work in this is mixed media. This has pencil, neocolor, acrylics, all of it kind of mishmashed together. I don't think I used gouache in this sketchbook. Maybe a couple paintings are gouache, but pretty much everything is watercolor, colored pencils, acrylics, and neocolor twos. Oh, and Posca pens, lots of Posca pens. I can see the marks right there and like the dots. This one I did a neon background, neon pink first, and then I painted over it. Just as you can see, a lot of variety of different backgrounds that I was playing around with and seeing what kind of felt the most me. This was just practicing some different types of flowers. This was one of my intuitive florals where I just splashed some watercolors around and then paint over it. And here I was just experimenting with a bigger format loose floral, and because usually I do these like tiny little flowers, so I was playing around with doing really big flowers to cover the whole page. I think it came out pretty good. And considering this is not a watercolor sketchbook, watercolor works pretty well on it. The paper does buckle a little, but it's not too bad. Again, neon background with paint on top, and obviously this is a little abstract I was trying. Grumpy looking cat, again neon background and paint on top. Lots of Poscas here. That duck has an attitude. Some flowers. Just playing around with different things, and I did an abstract that I didn't like, so I tore it out, and it actually went pretty well in another sketchbook that I have. Not sketchbook, but like an art journal. It worked really well as a background for that art journal. And here are just some notes on a YouTube video I was watching. Again, lots of Poscas for the background and everything. And the colors are coming out a little bit harsher on camera than they are in life. So this is like a softer blue, and the red is more red, not quite so dark. It's more red against blue. Here's some gold Poscas for the leaves. And just using this side to try out what I wanted the leaves to look like. Again, this one is much softer in person. It's very hard to capture for some reason. I couldn't even get a good photo of it, but this is like a very light sort of, I don't know if I tip it, if that changes anything. The face colors are a lot. This looks very dark for some reason. I don't know why it comes out that way on camera. Photo, I couldn't get a good photo of it, so I'm not sure. Playing around with different backgrounds, lots of Poscas here. That's why, you know, it takes a while to get some of them going. Pencil for the girl, and then mixed media for the background, and pretty much all Poscas for the hair to get the curls. And then more Poscas here. I use gray, white, and black, and then neocolor too for the background. It creates a very pretty pastel sort of effect. And I have a flower book, so I was experimenting with different flowers. I think these are cherry blossoms. Get the idea for these flowers from that flower book. More flowers. Using this side to do an abstract, just playing around with abstracts. Again, this red is a lot redder in person. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's not coming out that way on camera, but yeah. So this, on camera, this looks very dark red, but in person it's more like of a brighter red. And these are more like neon pink. I don't know if the camera's picking that up either. Let me see if I can turn this off. No, I don't think that's like much better either. Hold on a second. Then I tried doing some loose flowers in here. This is dip pen. Oh no. Oh, this girl I was saying was made. I just kind of sketched her with a dip pen, and then I did neocolors on top and watercolors. This one was made without pre-drawing. Hey guys, I thought I'd add a little bit of footage with some of the lengthwise layouts shown the long way. And let me see if I can get the lighting a little bit better to where it comes out a little bit more of the truer color. It's like a light pink. Somehow the camera just picks up like all these darker areas. They're really not dark at all. You can barely see them in person actually. Like this just all looks like light pink, so. Some abstract flowers. I ripped the page here, but it doesn't matter. I just covered it up with some packing tape. Some loose watercolor and ink. Acrylics, watercolors. Again, acrylics, watercolors. I think I was pairing up acrylics with watercolors because if you have 2 pages with acrylics and you put them together, they stick together. But if you just do the watercolors, then you don't need the protective sheet. If I did 2 acrylics, I would need a protective sheet. Just experimenting with different color schemes. Trying to be more and more loose because that was one of the goals for this sketchbook, is being more loose in general. Girls, just more girl faces in different colors. See, you can hear that, right? 2 acrylics, they kind of stick together. I like these too. They're very kind of graphic and bright. And not all the pages have to be perfect, obviously. You know, it's like you get some pages you don't like, and it's a sketchbook, so it's kind of like whatever, you let it go. And not all of these are in order. A lot of these are kind of out of order. So this is like a later drawing, but it's 2/3 through the book. Again, the colors are a lot softer in person. Let me turn the light back on and see if that helps. I don't know. if that helps or not. The colors, like these are very bright and kind of pink, pastel, and fluorescent. Yeah, these are very pastel and fluorescent, but they're coming out a lot darker on camera. And again, a little bit of footage trying to pick up some of that fluorescent. Again, it's light pink over here. You know what? These might be, this is oil pastels. This is when I was getting into oil pastels. You can see that, right? That's why I left that side blank, because otherwise you definitely need a protective sheet. Again, this is mostly, or a lot of oil pastel on top. This is acrylics with some Neocolor or something on top. Just another graphic sort of attempt. And then this is meat in acrylics when I was doing that video. More meat in acrylics, trying them out. I already shared these drawings when I did my meat in acrylics video. Another abstract. This was a speed paint I have on my channel. There's this kind of graphic sort of girl, and this is all done with Neocolor too. So I have the protective sheet in there. This is mostly oil pastels, I think. That's why the protective sheet is there too. A lot of oil pastels. This is pencils. And I really like this one. I don't know. I like the texture and I like the theme. I really like how this one came out. It wasn't very popular on Instagram, but somehow, like, a lot of times the things I really like, people don't really resonate with, and then stuff I kind of hate or I'm not that crazy about are the ones that people like. It's really weird. Does that ever happen to you guys? Like, you think, oh, this is so great, and then everybody's like, ugh. But then you have a piece that you're like, oh, wow, that really didn't work out, and then people are like, oh, this is so great. I don't know. This is, again, oil pastels. And here I was just experimenting with this different style of girl. Again, oil pastels mostly. And this is a collage piece. I made this on camera. I used my jelly plate to stamp these flowers into a text background. And it was a complete disaster. I think I actually took that video down. The jelly plate thing seemed like a complete disaster, but once I put the leaf veins in later, then it kind of came out okay. And I wanted to use it. I didn't want to waste it. So I went ahead and used it, even though it didn't come out so good. Again, this is super fluorescent in person, but I don't think the camera's picking that up because it was an fluorescent orange background, and I left a lot of it kind of showing through around the edges. Can you guys see that? Colored pencils for this girl, and I wanted to leave that one soft except for these pops of fluorescent paint. More colored pencils kind of done in this, you know, instead of burnishing the pencil in so that it's indistinguishable from paint, really leaving the pencil strokes in so you can tell it's colored pencil work, using that as part of the overall effect. Kind of leaving it that way on purpose and just experimenting with that. And I really like that effect, so I'm thinking of using a textured paper to do that so that the pencil strokes are even more visible. Same thing here. This is mainly oil pastels with that new style girl. More of that style again, oil pastels. Just very quickly going in and very loose. Again, one of my goals with the sketchbook was to experiment with being more loose. I think that's what sketchbooks are good for in general, is using them to really experiment and not worry so much about them coming out perfect, but focusing on maybe one or two elements that you want to improve on and really practice, and kind of focusing in on that with each drawing, and then seeing the progression as you go. If you're doing a finished painting on canvas or for sale or whatever, you would want to focus on all the elements, right? Composition, style, colors, all of it, right? Whereas in a sketchbook, you can focus on one or two elements and kind of not worry about the rest of it, and just focus on, you know, even if it's just exploring a certain idea, a certain color scheme, a certain way of doing the pencil marks, whatever it is, and just ignore the rest. Like here, I was also experimenting with doing oil pastels. I hadn't really worked with oil pastels before, so I was just seeing what it would be like, and I really enjoyed it. I think actually this might be pencil. And then oil pastel, and just, again, mixed media, basically. Pencil and oil pastel here, yeah. Here I think I was just experimenting with that type of face, like those, but, you know, cutting off the neck, just making the face really big format so that I could see what it would look like if I did it on a really large canvas. Again, not worrying about the actual sketchbook page and how that looks, using it instead to work on developing ideas for finished paintings and working out specific elements for finished paintings and using it as practice. These are both gouache. This is from when I got my meat and gouache that I was trying out, and I have a video on the meat and gouache. It's very pretty. It's very, I mean, not the drawings themselves, but the gouache, the colors are pretty. This is the meat and gouache. I did the video on that. Meat and acrylics. Another abstract, a very bright fluorescent abstract. I didn't even protect it here because this was just a throwaway idea with like a girl and an abstract background, just not even worrying about finishing it or making it good or having the right colors, not worrying about any of that, but just seeing what a girl against an abstract background would look like in general. Flowers with acrylics and then a lot of pencil on top for detail, and then here another abstract. And here I was watching Star Trek. And then this one, I think it was Georgie said, "Data, can you be more positive?" And Data said, "I hope we die quickly." That was his attempt at being more. Anyways, if you don't watch Star Trek, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. Another girl with like a fluorescent background, trying out different types of flowers again with acrylics and then Posca on top for detail. Just kind of just trying out different. I think this was a water-soluble pencil, so I was trying that. This was just going in with acrylics with no pre-drawing whatsoever, and then this is different types of acrylic flowers. Trying out some matte golden paint when I had first gotten it. These are flowers I tried that are from Carolyn J. She's on Instagram. These are the types of flowers she does with watercolors, so I tried some of them. Wasn't expecting them to be good because this is not watercolor paper, so that was kind of irrelevant. I was just trying different things. This was core paint. Found some different jugs and mugs. This is when I was doing all those flowers and vases. And so I just went in with Tombows and drew different vase shapes just to kind of practice different types of vases and get some vase ideas. Here I think I was just trying out different types of sea life slash plant life and amoebas or whatever, like, but imaginary ones just for fun. This was again trying out the golden flat paint, golden matte, golden, yeah, so flat, golden so flat. Here I was comparing it to other types of mediums. Another one of those flower type things. This was the Maiden Gouache, just a little flower, and that's it. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you think, and let me know if this is how you use your sketchbooks. This was very enjoyable. I love this paper. Would definitely recommend this sketchbook. As you can see, it held up to water mediums. It held up to all sorts of things in multiple layers. So this was fun. And also, when I had gotten it, I got it from Joann at some crazy sale. So I got it super, super cheap. It was very cheap, so I didn't feel bad about wasting the paper. So that's also always a good idea. Like, you want to get a good quality sketchbook, but at the same time, you want to get a sketchbook where you don't really care about wasting paper and trying out ideas and brainstorming, whatever, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.